All right, so now the NFL playoffs are right here upon us. Some great matchups coming up. Great regular season. Lots of things, to highlight the season. Drew Brees with the passing record, but overall, let's start with the playoffs here Saturday. Got a couple great games. We'll start in the AFC. Divisional rivalry. Teams playing a third game. The Colts and the Texans down in Houston. So we'll start with Dr. Pepper with this one.
Hmm. All right, this one is one of the other three games. I already got my pick, but this one is probably gonna be the toughest for me to pick which team's gonna win. But I'm gonna go with the Texans. These two teams really interesting. They started off, rough. Beginning of the season. Like I think Texans were like 1-3, and Colts were like even worse than that, and they've just been hot ever since. Finishing 11-5 and 10-6, and Deshaun Watson and Andrew Luck are, Andrew Luck's getting older now, but he's still pretty young. Two exciting cornerbacks, and I just think you got to give Texans the upper hand with, Lamar Miller stepped in and had a pretty good year, and DeAndre Hopkins is one of the best wide receivers in the game right now. So, not to say T.Y. Hilton isn't, but I just think with the Texans' weapons, and I think Deshaun will lead them to a playoff victory, and they'll move to the next round. I say it's going to be close. I say Texans win 31-27.
Go ahead, Trav.
Um, I'm taking the Texans here. The only kind of doubt and the only thing that kind of scares me a little bit about this game is that Indiana's defense has been so much better than everybody predicted this year. They kind of took it to another level this season. Games in Indy, right? Two as well.
Houston.
Oh, it's in Houston.
Yeah, Houston.
So okay, right there. That's I mean that favors Houston a lot. Houston's defense is loaded. With JJ on that team. I think Houston's got too many weapons. The injuries have come on the wide receiver core. I think if Houston comes into the playoffs healthy with Fuller, with Demaryius Thomas, QT's been out too as well. Miller's been banged up. I think if they're a healthy team, they could advance pretty far, farther than the first round. Big thing for me is I'm a Deshaun Watson guy. I'm a big fan of Deshaun Watson. He was my fantasy football quarterback all this season. I think he makes plays with his feet. Not necessarily that, not like the RG3 where it's just a spread, things like that. But when a pocket collapses, we've seen it. Deshaun Watson can, make plays when things break down. And I think that's going to be the difference maker. I think the Colts stuff the run game. I don't think Lamar Miller does too much. I think it's going to be a slugfest. I got the final score being, I got 21-13 final, Houston. But yeah, I think Deshaun Watson's the X factor. I love Andrew Luck. I like what the Colts did. I just don't think, with Marlon Mack back there, they're not going to get the run game going against Houston's D. And let's be honest, DeAndre Hopkins is unguardable. So it doesn't matter who's matching up. Malik Hooker is questionable to play. The Colts starting safety. That could hurt him in the secondary too as well. So I think the Watson to Hopkins hookup is going to be full effect. I think DeAndre goes for 10 catches, 160 yards, and 2 touchdowns, if you ask me again. So it's not something that we haven't seen already this season, but I'm picking the Texans.
Go ahead, Abby.
Well, I need to address something first, boys. If we look at the playoffs and teams that are in there, you won't find the Minnesota Vikings. They didn't make it. Big Coach Zai told me about a week ago, called me out, said that Minnesota Vikings would not make it. The Eagles will, and Kirk Cousins always comes up short in big games. And I defended Kirk Cousins for 3 or 4 weeks. Zai, you were right on this one, all right? I was wrong. Kudos to you. Enjoy it, because it won't happen too often. Kirk Cousins is a solid quarterback. He's a starting quarterback in this league, but he's probably not top 15 anymore. You're right, I'm wrong. Moving on, Are you ready for this hot take, boys? Hold your bootstraps for this one. That all 4 road teams will win. All four teams that are hosting the wild card round will be having a quick exit and taking an early vacation down to Florida, down here with me. All 4. I mean, we had some great wild card teams this year, and they will all of them will prevail and beat the divisional winners.
What's your score for the game? The Colts Texans. What's the score?
The Colts are going to have more points than the Texans.
Duh.
So we don't get a score prediction?
I mean, we asked you about one game, and you said...
I'm going to go with 35-31.
Okay. Thank you.
Colts, to clarify.
I'm going to agree with Hibby on this first game, and here's why. The Texans are more talented. They have more talent. But when it comes down to Andrew Luck and the Colts have just kind of been getting business done this year. You don't hear a lot about them. They went through some crazy years, Luck getting hurt, just, kind of felt like the organization was falling apart. And now that they're in the playoffs, do I think they're a Super Bowl contender? Probably not. But you never know what could happen. But I just feel like here's the thing. If they can block the Texans' defensive line, Andrew Luck's going to pick them apart. And if that happens, and I think if the Colts can jump ahead, Deshaun Watson will throw a couple 50-50 balls. And I'm with you, Trev. DeAndre Hopkins is probably the best receiver in the NFL right now. But if they can take him out of the game and they can make Deshaun Watson have to throw to some other people, the Colts have a chance. And I think that will happen. I just think that Andrew Luck the Colts have been to the playoffs before. Andrew Luck is just that guy. He loves the moment. He's never afraid. So I'm going to pick the Colts just because of Andrew Luck, really. That's why I'm going. I think that he'll make a big play. He'll keep them around the game. I agree the Colts defense is probably one – people don't talk about them enough of the story they've done. Because a couple of years ago we were talking about they couldn't make a tackle. And now, they're shutting people's runs game down there. I mean, they're really keeping – they're the reason why. But I think they'll shut Lamar Miller down. They'll put some pressure on Watson. And if they can do that, Andrew Luck will give them enough to win the game. So I'll go 21-17 Colts on the road for a victory.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't they start out 1-5?
Yes,
I
they
believe
did.
so. Yeah, it was not a good start.
So they're coming in the playoffs red hot right now. Watch out.
But so are the Texans.
Yeah, I mean...
I would agree with Zai and Hibby on this one. I'm going to take Indy. I'm just going to be flat out honest with this one. Nobody's going to watch this game. I'm sorry. Nobody's going to watch this game.
Time out. They played twice this year, and they were both 3-point games. I'm definitely going to watch the game. I'll have my popcorn in my lap and my Dr. Pepper on the side, tuned in. So I don't know what you're talking about.
You'll be one of few. I'll guarantee you this is the least viewed playoff game out of all of them in the whole playoffs. But enough of that. I think the Colts, like you guys have said, red hot.
Everyone is there against Jake.
What?
Yeah, Jake is the busiest dude in America.
Yeah.
Not
We're
everyone
going
is
to time for the podcast, then.
All that aside, though, I think the Colts are coming in red hot. Like you said, of course, the Texans are too. But Texans don't have the greatest home field advantage. And the Colts, I think they can take advantage of that. The crowd will be out of it early. Andrew Luck will pick them apart. And I think the Colts, Frank Reich is a great coach, great hire for them. And I think he will have a plan to possibly double-team DeAndre Hopkins, take him out of the game, and to keep this game, kind of in the 20s. If it gets in the 30s and the Texans start scoring, it's over. But I think the final will be somewhat similar to the games that have been played so far. I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts 28 and the Texans 24. So getting into the next game, we got the Seahawks and the Dallas Cowboys. In Dallas, Cowboys are a 1.5-point favorite. So, Zai, we'll start with you on this one.
Well, if you've been paying attention to my videos, the Cowboys have kind of been my team in the NFC this year. And, as Hibby would disagree, he really came at me about my pick. I was so excited to see Ezekiel Elliott not play and Dak Prescott find a way to win against the Giants. Now, the Giants aren't a great team. I get that. but the Giants are up and coming because of Saquon Barkley. I mean, that was a great pick. I'll talk about that some other day. That dude is an animal. But the Cowboys was kind of a game where I thought watching it, I'm like, man, eventually they're just going to roll over and they're going to be like, this is a meaningless game. If we lose the Giants, we lose. So when the Giants scored with probably like 3 minutes to go, maybe a little less than that, I thought it was over. I thought, here we go. Dak's going to throw a bad pass, something. And then at the end of the game, the Cowboys are just going to be like, hey. But Dak went down the drive, made a great throw, I believe, on a 4th down. Cole Beasley makes a great catch. And then they go for 2, get the 2-point conversion, and end up winning. But here's what I'm going to say. Cowboys will win this game. Seahawks had a great year. Russell Wilson did his thing again. They're just not the same team on the road. So I'm going to go Cowboys. This is going to be a defensive slugfest. This is going to be hard hitting. It's going to be tough to score. So, I'm going to go Cowboys like 13-7. And it's just going to come down to that you got Zeke, Dak, and Amari Cooper. And those 3 guys are just going to be just a little bit too much for Seattle to handle. And the home field advantage, Jerry Jones' world is going to be popping. It's going to be exciting. And my Cowboys are going to make a run, so watch out.
Hey, Jake.
What's up?
How many timeouts do I have?
As many as you need, but go ahead.
I need a timeout for Coach Zai. The Cowboys always come up short in the postseason. That's their MO. That's Jerry Jones' world right there. That big stadium is. It's going to be another quick exit for them Cowboys. They're going to lose 23-17, and I can't wait to shove it in Coach Zai's face for my timeout I'm going to give him next week.
Just real quick, they lost when they had Tony Romo. I love Tony. He's a good announcer. He found his profession. Stick with the golf swing as well. But Dak Prescott, there's just something about Dak. He's a gamer. He's a winner. He's won everywhere he's been. And I just think, the Cowboys got a chip on their shoulder. So we'll see. Don't worry, Hibby. You'll be owing me an apology again next week.
They might have a slimmer of hope this week, but there's no way they're getting to the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl. Not a chance.
We're just gonna take it.
You said at the start.
We're just gonna take it one game at a time.
All right.
I agree with Coach Zai on this one. I'm going to take Dallas at home. The key for the Cowboys is to stop the Seahawks run game. Yes, Russell Wilson, this, and that. But the Seahawks, I've said this probably ever since this podcast has started, that the Seahawks are a run team. With Carson and Davis in the backfield, if the Seahawks start running the ball and they can get down there, forget it. They're going to win this game. But I think Dallas will load the box, and they're going to make Russell Wilson have to throw the ball. They don't have Jermaine Kearse. They don't have Doug Baldwin. If they do have Doug Baldwin, that's my bad. But he hasn't been the same Doug Baldwin because they are a run team now. But I'm going to take Dallas in this one. Again, Jerry World will be hopping. Great place to play. And I think Dallas will be fired up to win this one. Give me Dallas 20-13.
Go ahead, Parker.
I agree with J-Web on this one. I'm taking the Seahawks. Russell Wilson is a beast. Man's not getting enough credit this season. I mean, when they lost the Legion of Boom, everyone forgot about the Seahawks. He's, quietly carrying this team to the playoffs. Their defense is still pretty good, Like Zai said, I think it's going to be kind of low scoring. You got to give the Cowboys a lot of credit. Picking up Amari Cooper, that might be, like the signing of the season because he's really stepped up and helped them. It's going to be tough to beat the Cowboys, but something's telling me Russell Wilson is going to step up again and win another playoff game in Jerry World, where the Cowboys, like Jay Webb said, keep falling short. I got it. 17-10, Seattle Seahawks.
I gotta disagree with that. Going with Big Zai on this one. I think the Cowboys dominate this game. I think the score is going to be closer than what it should be. I don't think the Cowboys field goal kicker's never been in a playoff game, so I think he's going to miss a couple there. My final is 17-13 Cowboys. Here's why. You guys have said it. You're in Jerry World. You're in the biggest, baddest stadium in all of the NFL. Dallas's fan base is huge. You know, I have friends who are Dallas Cowboys fans, and it drives me nuts because it feels like it doesn't matter where you go, you can travel to anywhere in the United States, and you're going to find a Cowboys fan somewhere. So, you know, great fan base. That place is going to be rocking. Cowboys made a great trade with the Amari Cooper trade. They gave Dak a weapon finally. I don't think, you know, Dez wasn't really the weapon. I was never a big Dez Bryant fan to begin with. I think Amari has the skill set, the speed, the hands, 50-50 jump ball factor. The run game is going to be, you know, with Zeke Elliott. You know, I don't think Seattle's defense, I give them credit. You know, guys like Frank Clark, the Michigan man, he's stepped up, he's played well, but they're not the Legion of Boom anymore. And that's one of the reasons why I think the Cowboys walk away with this one. Like I said, score is going to be a little bit closer than what the game is going to tell you. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the Cowboys. I think they're going up. Their defense is great. They've got weapons back. You know, Sean Lee just came back. The one guy that I think is underrated, he's been hurt for the past 6 weeks or so, is Tavon Austin. He can hurt you. You know, he's one of those guys. He can hurt you in the return game, but he's a weapon, and we've seen him used early in the season, you know, with like jet sweeps and things like that, little dump offs. You know, I think it was like the second week of football. He had like 2 touchdowns or something like that. So he's been hurt. He's been hurt here recently. He's finally come back healthy. It gives Dak another weapon. But yeah, I think my hot take on this one too as well is that after Seattle loses, I don't think Pete Carroll's the coach of the Seattle Seahawks next year.
Ooh.
I kind of like that, but here's what I'm going to say about the game also. Dak Prescott, I like him. He's a good guy, you know. He said all the right things in the media and stuff, you know. He had a pretty good college career. He's, you know, led the Cowboys to him and Zeke, first or second year to the NFC Champ game, right? But I think he's a game manager. He's not a game changer. So he's not going to win the game, you know. He's got a lot of talent around him that helps him. So, but I don't think he's going to win the game for the Cowboys. And, you know, and Russell Wilson will win it for the Seahawks.
I think that's false. We've seen it last week.
I mean,
Dak can ball, but a lot of game managers have won Super Bowls before. When Peyton was in Denver, game manager won the Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer with Baltimore, game manager won the Super Bowl. So it can happen.
I mean, yeah, anything can happen, but just think this Saturday, Seahawks, buddy.
I will say Dilfer should never won that Super Bowl, but that's another thing. But Dak Prescott needs to find a way to hook up with Amari Cooper in this game and torch Seattle down the field, because if they can start running the ball with Elliott, you know, and then get a deep shot to Cooper, it'll be done. It'll be done. Seattle will be out. Dallas will be in the second round. Who knows how far they could go, you know, if they have to play the Rams or the Saints. I don't think they'll win either game, but that's for another one. But Dallas, it's going to be big for them to get Amari Cooper involved. So next game we got, starting with the Sunday games, we got the LA Chargers playing in Baltimore against the Ravens. Ravens 2.5-point favorites. We'll start with you, Trav. What you got on this one?
This is going to be a good game. You know, I did tweet out the other day. Justin kind of mentioned it. I think the NFL football is getting away from pro-style quarterbacks. And Lamar Jackson was my prime example this year. He was a rookie. He went 6-1 his rookie season as a starting quarterback. He was able to make plays. You know, his arm's underrated. A lot of people say, you know, he's so fast. He's such a good runner. He has a good arm, too, as well. And the Baltimore's defense has been terrific. You know, it's like every year you see it's guys get older, that linebacker core gets older, but, man, they're good. The Baltimore's defense is good. They're red hot right now. You know, they're coming off a couple big wins. They snuck in. However, I got the Bolts, Los Angeles Chargers, taking out the Ravens in Baltimore. A couple reasons why. I think the Chargers are loaded with talent. You know, Melvin Gordon, if he's 100% this week, I know they're saying he's still questionable. He's still beat up with that ankle sprain, but I think he's going to come back. He's going to be 100%. That's tough. You add guys like they had Justin Jackson as a backup running back step up, Eckler, and then the wide receiver game. How do you guard Keenan Allen? How do you guard Mike Williams, who has stepped up tremendously? He was well worth that first round pick. Since we've seen it this year. He stepped up really well. And then you have great role players. The possibility of getting Hunter Henry back this week. Some people are saying that he could play. He might be limited fashion. I think that's huge, especially for Phillip Rivers and the way he utilizes tight ends. And then you add the Chargers defense. Their defensive line is good. Ingram's a great, linebacker, edge rusher type of guy. Their secondary's been.
Did you lose him?
That cut out there for a minute?
Yeah.
Yep, you're good now.
Where'd I leave off? Where'd I pause at?
Talking about their secondary.
Yeah.
Oh, charge secondary. Okay, so basically what I said was I just think Lamar's going to choke his first playoff game. He's a rookie. I think the Bolts take it. I do. I think they're too skilled offensively, defensively. I think, we've seen it. I hate Joey Bosa, but he's basically had a sack in every one of his games that he's played this year. So I think Lamar is going to be on the ropes. I don't think Baltimore doesn't have the offensive talent like they're used to. Really, the run game's non-existent. Gus Edwards, an undrafted rookie, he's played well. Alex Collins got hurt. Wide receiver core is not great. I just don't think the offense can get it done. I think it's going to be a tight one, but I'm going to go, let's see here. We'll take the Chargers 13-6 over Baltimore.
I'm going to go real quick. Talk about a guy that always comes up short, and it's Phillip Rivers. And Baltimore, they're going to play chippy. They're going to play like the Baltimore Ravens always do. And Lamar Jackson's going to kind of have that Tim Tebow moment, I think, where he throws a short pass. It'd be a big play. It'd be the difference in the game. I'm going to go like Ravens win 18-13. And then the following week, the Ravens will get washed off the field by the Patriots. So that's going to be my pick. Ravens win 18-13. MVP of the game will be Justin Tucker.
6 field goals?
He might kick them all.
Here's where I'm going to go with this one. I'm taking Baltimore in this one, hands down. Like you said, Phillip Rivers has been non-existent in big games throughout his career in the playoffs. AFC title game at New England, he lost with a great team. Home game against the Jets, he lost. At Baltimore, actually recently, he lost. Yes, this could be his year, this and that. Anthony Lynn, to me, does not have the experience. Yes, he's got a good team, but John Harbaugh over there, he's experienced. He's going to have a game plan. He's going to take the Chargers passing game out of it. And, yeah, Lamar Jackson, rookie and all that, but they will run the ball. They will get Gus Edwards touches. Lamar Jackson will carry the ball, and he will carry the Ravens to a victory in this one. I'll take him 21. Actually, correction, we'll go 24-14 over the Chargers. Phillip Rivers is going to come up, Crimea Rivers is going to come up short once again in the playoffs.
Not so fast, Jake. Full time up for you, buddy. Let's rewind time about 8 or 9 months where Lamar Jackson on draft day got selected by the Baltimore Ravens, and he guaranteed to the Ravens fan base the Super Bowl. Well, Mr. Jackson, I'm sorry to tell you it's not going to happen this year, because I guarantee a win for those LA Chargers. And they're going to beat them by a couple touchdowns, score of 27-14. I said on this podcast about a month ago that this is the Chargers' year. However, I'm not so confident after they lost to Baltimore in Week 16. But there's no way that they're going to beat the Chargers twice. Chargers 27-14. Phillip Rivers is going to have a great game.
This one I'm really excited for. Maybe the one I'm looking forward to the most on the divisional games this weekend. Lamar Jackson's really stepped up. Filled the void for Baltimore. Baltimore at home, their defense is always insane. This time of year, they just snuck into the playoffs. The defense really propelled them beating the Browns. I really enjoy watching Lamar. Just run for big gains, and he had 2 running touchdowns against the Browns. So the Ravens are a dangerous team, but the Chargers got a lot of talent. Melvin Gordon at 100%. I had him in fantasy. He's a straight baller. I mean, they should sign him up for the big baller, man, because he is a big baller at 100%. Their wide receiving core, maybe the best in the league. And this is why I said it in a video a few weeks ago. It's going to be an all-LA Super Bowl. Therefore, the LA Chargers are going to win this game, and they're going to win it all in an all-LA final. Philip Rivers, it's going to be his year. Like I said, Melvin Gordon is a dog. Their wide receiving core can't be stopped. They have so many weapons. Therefore, this game is not going to be very close, I don't think. I'm calling 34-14. Chargers going away.
Something I will point out, and I was until I found out about this year for the Chargers, is that Philip Rivers usually sucks on the road, but the Chargers went 7-1 on the road this season. They beat Pittsburgh. They beat Kansas City on the road. They beat Denver on the road. That's a tough place to play. They beat the Raiders on the road. Probably the toughest place to play in all football. They beat the Browns. The Browns are an upcoming team. Their only loss to the Rams, which can you really count that as a road game? It was in LA, but Baltimore will be rocking. They're going to look to show why they're a division champion, and Lamar Jackson, I think he's going to carry them 150 yards rushing. Ravens win this one. We're pretty split on that one, but I'm going to take Baltimore. And then the last game to me, this could be the best game of the whole playoffs. We got the Bears hosting the Philadelphia Eagles at Soldier Field. And I'll start this one off if you guys don't mind. I'm taking the Chicago Bears at home, taking them to win this one 20-10. I don't think the Eagles can get it going. I don't see there being a lot of scoring in this game. I'm sorry. I know Nick Foles has done well, but it's time for the glass slipper to not fit anymore. It's midnight now. I don't see the Eagles going in there. Now they did what they did last year. I get it. They were the 1 seed. Soldier Field's a tough place to play. Khalil Mack, have fun blocking him. As a Raider fan, I loved him. But I'm going to take the Bears in this one at home. It's going to be a grinded-out game, nitty-gritty to the end. But I think the Bears have a little bit more than what it takes to win this game over Philly.
Full timeout on Jake. First of all, I told you guys all about the Philadelphia Eagles. And the only thing that makes this hard is because I did pick the Cowboys. And so I really think we're going to have a Cowboys-Eagles NFC Championship game. Parker just mentioned something about a big baller brand. Nick Foles is a baller right now. And I don't even know how many games in a row he's won, but he's winning these high-pressure, must-win games. You talk about a roster full of talent is the Philadelphia Eagles. They have so much talent offensively and defensively. They've done a great job. They have a great head coach. Now, the Bears are fun to watch. I watched them play Minnesota. Obviously the defense shut down Kirk Cousins, but we've seen in the past that's not hard to do. But they are. The Bears' defense and playing in Soldier Field is going to keep them in the game. But at the end of the day, the Eagles know what – they've been there, done that. The Bears don't have many guys that have been there, done that. So this is going to come down to the playoff experience. I'm going to take the Eagles like 21-14. Be a little slugfest. Eagles will pull away late, but it won't be a very entertaining game to watch. But at the end of the day, Nick Foles will make too many plays. And watch out because the Philadelphia Eagles are scary. They're just a scary team to play against. They believe they can win it all. Nick Foles is, he's just balling out. And at the end of the day, they might be the most talented roster in the NFL.
Oh, Big Zai, you got to stop it. You got to stop. You think they're the most talented team that's without their starting running back?
Reigning Super Bowl champs.
Oh, my goodness.
They got a lot of talent, but that's a stretch, money.
I think this is going to be probably the worst game of them all. I got the Bears winning 28-13. you want to talk about talent-wise, the Bears' defense is loaded. They look like the Bears' defense from back in the day. Khalil Mack's a monster. There's nobody on that Eagles offensive line that's going to stop him. Not a soul. I think the Eagles without Wentz, I think Foles is due just to have one of his terrible games, especially, against that Bears defense. Offensively, too, you got to give the Bears a lot of credit. Mitchell Trubisky, he's played well this year. The running backs, you got Tariq Cohen, who's, just one of those offensive weapons. He's really quick. You get him the ball in space, he can make plays. We're going to see Allen Robinson healthy. The Miller kid has really stepped up this year. Taylor Gabriel, another one of those guys where we've seen it with the Falcons. You give him the ball in open space, and there's no telling he could take it 99 yards for a touchdown. But I think the big difference is the Eagles haven't even seen anything like, they've played the Cowboys. Cowboys defense is good, but the Bears defense is the best defense in the NFL by a landslide, I think, this year. So I think that's what's going to pay off. I got the Bears big in this one. I don't even think it's a competition, really.
What I will say is that my score prediction is a little bit off. 20-10. Can I make a change?
Go ahead.
Oh, man. Where did I cut out at again? The internet's crappy right now.
You made your score prediction. That was
Yeah.
I made the score prediction?
Yeah, then that was it.
13 was yours.
Oh, geez, that's tough. I went on for like 10 minutes then. No, it's the Bears defense, playing in Chicago, playing at Soldier Field. We don't know what the weather's going to be like. With that being said, it could be a defensive game. The Eagles defense, I think, is terrible. I don't think they're the same defense. Their secondary has been suspect all year. You can't argue that one, Big Zai.
Play good when it matters.
No, we'll see. We'll see. So I got the Bears big, though. I think, defense is what's going to pay off. Offense has weapons. We'll see, though. I think Zai's going to be – I think you're getting the big – we're going to have to take a big TO on that one for you, though, Big Zai.
Hey, Trav, I got a question for you.
What's
Go
up?
ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
Do you know who Lee Corso is?
Yeah. Everybody knows Lee.
Not so fast, my friend. No way that the Chicago Bears is going to come out with a victory. As I said, all four road teams are going to come out with a victory. And as you stated before about a rookie or a first-time quarterback coming up short, Lamar Jackson, I think that's going to be the case for Mitch Trubisky. This is his first playoff appearance, and he's going to come up short. I think he's going to have the yips, and I think they're going to lose by a couple scores. They're double digits. It's going to be like 31-20 Eagles favor.
What's the spread on this one? We might have to make some timeout bets here.
I believe 5.5. The Bears are favored.
Oh,
Just-
yeah.
I just want you to think about something, Trav. The Bears division was awful. Sorry, all you Lions fans out there.
It was
Hey,
Terrible.
Worst
Packers
division in
were
all
awful.
football.
Lions were terrible.
Easy
As
one.
always.
And the Vikings were maybe the most underachieving team other than the Jags in the NFL.
Hey, my Lions beat your Patriots. That's all that matters. I was
So
happy.
Yeah.
when you think about it, the Bears just really haven't they're just kind of a overachieving team in a bad division. So when it comes down to it, the Eagles though, they played in a better division. Now I wouldn't say the best division, but they played in a better division because they actually have another playoff team in the division. But Nick Foles, there's just something about him. He gets that team to play at a different level than Wentz has, and he moves the ball around there's talks that Wentz only throws to the tight end. When Nick Foles and Alshon Jeffrey becomes a big playmaker, and it's just different. And I just see something in it right now that the Eagles are probably the most dangerous team right now in the playoffs. Like, I don't want to play them, and then they get to go into Chicago. Trubisky's never thrown a playoff pass. I'm with Hibby on this one. I don't think the Bears stand a chance.
Who's running the ball in Philly?
Darren Sproles.
Oh, man.
I mean, don't tell me Gabriel's good and tell me Sproles isn't good.
Darren Sproles is a good running back.
He's still got moves.
Oh, he might have moves, but he's going to take one hit, be knocked out for the rest of the year again.
They got
Nick Foles don't need nobody to run it.
Oh, man. The Eagles might as well hold some tryouts. I might go fly into Philly here before the playoff game.
I agree with Zai and J Webb. Like you guys just mentioned. Trubisky, I I still don't think he's all right. I don't think he's that good. He's gonna lose him the game. His first big game. I mean, Foles has been in huge games. As big as you can make them. Super Bowl, won it. So I just think, yes, the Bears are gonna keep him in the game. Their defense, but I just see, like as I said, I totally agree. The Eagles are, they made it here now. I mean, they were having a Super Bowl hangover for about over half the season. They were just chilling, and then stepped up when it mattered. Slipped into the playoffs, last game of the year because Kirk, small game Cousins, can't perform. And they, slid into the playoffs, and they're a team to reckon with. I don't have them winning the NFC, but I can see them making a run for sure, and Nick Foles will step up. And I'm going to say right now, Golden Tate, my former Lion, I'm sad they lost him. He's going to get a touchdown in the game, have a big game, and the score is going to be 20-9.
I forgot about Golden Tate. I mean, they got ballers on that team.
Yeah.
They're ready to play. They're going to make plays.
Eagles are going to win 20-9 at Soldier Field and say, see ya, Mitchell Trubisky.
If I had to pick one guaranteed win this week, this would be the game. The Eagles are a guaranteed win.
I will say I do need to change my score pick, though. 27-17 Bears. I mean, the Eagles aren't going to score 10 points the whole game. They will get a couple on them. And, yeah, I'm sure Dr. Pepper, you're sad about the Lions losing Golden Tate like they lose every football game. But, I mean...
On your Raiders do this year, money. Who's that?
Traded everybody.
Jake,
I'll take John Gruden over Matt Patricia any day, but that's
real
for
quick,
another
Jake,
one.
how does it feel that you have to watch Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper play?
It sucks. It really does. I mean, what it shows you is that if you get these guys in the right place with the right team, they can do some big things. Like Amari Cooper was the second coming of Randy Moss in Oakland. Randy Moss wasn't crap for the Raiders, but then you get him with New England, he was a baller. Amari Cooper, same thing. He had maybe one or two good seasons with the Raiders, but then he didn't want to play there. You get him with Dallas.
Who was throwing to Randy? Jamarcus?
I think you had Andrew Walter back there, but
terrible franchise.
Yes, a very poorly run franchise. But we'll see.
Don't ever compare Amari Cooper to Randy Moss again. That's slapping Randy Moss.
Hey, it was like Randy Moss. I mean, he didn't want to play with the Raiders. I mean, who wants to play for them? But you get him with the right. What it shows is if you get them in the right spot, they can be a good player. Randy Moss with the right teams, with the Vikings and with the Patriots, he was a good player. But when he was with the Raiders, he blew. Same thing with Cooper. He'll have probably.
Oh, time out, Jake. He wasn't even in his prime in Oakland. He was in Minnesota for about 20 years. And if he's on this podcast, remember when he scored a touchdown on Lambeau Field and he acted like he mooned him? That's what he'd be doing to you right now. So you need to chill out.
I agree with Hibby. I mean, I'm with you, Jake. Sometimes guys do need a change. And so I'm happy for Amari Cooper because I think people were on the verge that he was going to be a bust. But I don't think you can blame Randy Moss because bums were throwing to him in Oakland. And if you can't throw the ball, if you can't throw it, you can't catch it.
Mike Mayock will turn that franchise around, though.
Yeah, Raiders will be for another thing. I mean, they will be in the playoffs next year, but that'll be for a whole nother segment.
As I would say, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Where's the Santa Claus emoji when you need it? That's probably the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Just wait. Like we waited on Kirk Cousins being horrible. Just wait. But again, great playoffs teams. Hopefully we get a good weekend of football coming up here.
I got one more. I got a hot take. I'd like to hear you guys' opinions. I'm calling it right now that Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, they'll all be gone. None of them will be Steelers next year. What do you guys think?
Surprising.
100% true.
Big Ben will still be there, but Antonio Brown won't be.
I think Big Ben's gone too.
I agree with Jake.
Fell apart. They crumbled.
I think either Big Ben's going to go or Mike Tomlin's going to go. Both of them are not going to stay.
What do you got, Hibby?
Big Ben will be the only one to stay.
I agree with that.
I got Antonio Brown will make a great Patriot.
He's going to Detroit, don't you know? Another Calvin Johnson, buddies. Touchdowns.
Yeah, just got to have a decent quarterback to throw to him.
I agree, but he still technically could go back to the Steelers.
Who, Bell?
Yeah.
Nobody in that locker room would want him back.
I don't know. I beg to differ at this point.
Ian.
Can you guys imagine if the Patriots would just play Le'Veon before the season started? Le'Veon plays all year. The Patriots probably make the playoffs. Antonio Brown, Ben Roethlisberger, or Steelers. Sorry, I was on your Patriots topic here. Yeah, but the Steelers probably make the playoffs. You know, the Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown stuff probably doesn't happen, and we don't have this. So all they had to do was pay the man. So,
Le'Veon Bell got the last laugh in that one.
oh yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Making money from the couch, chilling.
That he did. So that'll wrap it up for the playoffs. And next we'll get into Tyler Trent. A very inspiring story there.